Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Folks, the massive $3.5 trillion stimulus bill from the Biden administration is under attack by corporate America. Yes, folks, you heard that right. And you come to this channel to get the latest news, to get the truth, wherever the truth might lead us. Please do me a favor. Please click the like button and subscribe. You might think that, hey, someone else is going to do it, but I can tell you that every single like, every subscribe matters because it supports our channel. Take a second and do it right now because a little bit goes a long way. And I appreciate you supporting our channel. Now that you've done that, let's get right into the news. Here's a headline of an article on your screen from the Washington Post. Corporate America launches a massive lobbying blitz to kill key parts of the Democrats' $3.5 trillion economic plan. In fact, drug makers, big banks, tech giants, and others are preparing to fight the party's package, including the proposals to raise taxes. In fact, some of the most influential corporations in America, including ExxonMobil, Pfizer, and the Walt Disney Company, are laying the ground for a lobbying effort, spending millions of dollars to try and influence the lawmakers and discourage them from passing key aspects of the $3.5 trillion economic plan. So what is happening and why is this happening? Well, folks, before I get into that, you'll be surprised to know that the most active organization is the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which is trying to put together a coalition to coordinate the fight against this economic package, including the size of the economic package, the scope of the policy, and the potential for tax increases. There are the other opponents, which include Apple and Walmart. They are all planning to fight the tax increases, and what they want is for the government to scale back the size of this bill. Now, this adds to all the challenges that the Democrats are facing. But at the same time, folks, this is crucial. The conservative Democrat from West Virginia, Joe Manchin, and the Democrat from Arizona, Kristen Sinema, their vote is absolutely crucial for the Biden administration because the Biden administration, the Democrats have a very narrow majority and they cannot afford to lose any votes. In fact, here's a quote from Eric Newhouse, who's the senior vice president for policy at the National Association of Manufacturers. He said this: we're doing it in every way that you can imagine because they are one of the groups that are actually lobbying against this $3.5 trillion bill. And this is what Newhouse said. He added that the tax increases Democrats have pursued would mean manufacturing families will suffer, jobs will be lost. In fact, Disney, Pfizer, and Exxon declined to comment. Jessica Boulanger, who's a spokeswoman for the Business Roundtable, said that it is engaged in a significant, multifaceted campaign to stop tax hikes and would continue to ramp up our efforts in the coming weeks. Now, think about this for a second. Why would these big corporations want to pay more taxes? They don't want to. They don't want to because this allows their stock price to go up. This allows them to keep paying out dividends to all their investors. They don't want to have to pay more taxes. And at the end of the day, a lot of these big companies, when they pay more taxes, their profits go down. And when their profits go down, their share prices go down. So this is all about money and influence, folks. At the end of the day, politics is about timing. It's about opportunity. It's about tribalism and perception. And for these companies, money talks. In fact, their money combined with their influence is a very powerful, very formidable force for the Biden administration. In fact, the Biden administration is going to face a lot of obstacles. The Chamber of Commerce said last week that they were going to take a firm stand against the package. In fact, here's a headline of an article on your screen from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Folks, this is official from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Think about that for a second as we check out this headline. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce vows to defeat reconciliation, and it hails the voting deadline for the bipartisan infrastructure bill. And this is what the U.S. Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Suzanne Clark said. And she said this: today, the House passed an enormous $3.5 trillion tax and spend budget that, if enacted, will dramatically expand the size and scope of government through record levels of inflationary spending and impose massive tax increases that will halt America's fragile economic recovery. The chamber will do everything we can do to prevent this tax-rising, job-killing reconciliation bill from becoming law. In contrast, we are pleased that the House will vote on the bipartisan infrastructure bill before the end of September. Anyone who needlessly delays or tries to kill this bill is holding back our nation. I don't know how anyone could go home and explain to their constituents that they voted to block money to fix a crumbling bridge or to replace lead water pipes running into schools. It is past time to turn the long overdue promises of infrastructure investment into a reality. Now, speaking of reality, folks, let me be as clear as I can. The Democrats want to use this opportunity to try and force through, to try and push through a $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill. And so many Democrats want to use this as a once in a generation opportunity to try and get a massive spending bill done, which, as you can see, many businesses don't want, which definitely the Republicans don't want. So there's going to be a lot of pressure against the Democrats. In fact, what happened was an organization calling itself the Coalition Against Socialized Medicine took aim at Senator Ron Wyden, who's a leader of the Finance Committee that oversees prescription drug pricing. And this is what the organization said. Imagine a future in which a COVID vaccine was never discovered. It won't be hard to imagine at all. Basically, what they are saying is that if we spend so much money, we're going to put ourselves in a situation where we simply don't have the money to do anything in the future. In fact, lawmakers like Senator Bernie Sanders, who's leader of the Budget Committee, he's not happy about this at all. And he said that the industry's efforts to try and kill the $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill were, I quote, a sign of the greed that pervades corporate America. Gosh, you got to give it to Bernie. This man is no nonsense. He's straight up. Again, this is a significant statement. He said all this criticism, all this resistance, all this lobbying, which again is them spending millions of dollars to put ads on television stations, to force lawmakers to feel the pressure and not support the $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill. Bernie, the one and only Bernie, says this is, I quote, a sign of the greed that pervades corporate America. He said this: these guys don't lose. He was asked about the lobbying. He said, they're going to lose this round. The one and only Bernie Sanders, everyone. Let me know what you think of corporate America pushing back against tax increases, pushing back against what they label as excessive spending, job killing, and what they consider a socialization of America, an expansion of the influence of government, which they say is something that the Democrats are doing. Is this the end game of the Democrats, or is this simply businesses using their influence and money? And by the way, they have lots of it. These businesses have trillions of dollars of influence and money. Are they using that influence and money, to keep power, to keep wealth concentrated for them, their CEOs and their shareholders? Is this what you believe? Or do you agree with these corporate companies that are trying to kill the $3.5 trillion plan? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. This is a very important discussion for us as Americans, and I encourage you to participate in this discussion and really think about this, because there are games going on in Washington, D.C. There are games that are not visible to the average observer, and that's what I try and break down for you on this channel with this episode of Ignition Time. Please click the like button. Please click subscribe. Please enable notifications. Thank you so much for watching. I work hard on this channel every single day, and I hope you'll join me in this journey on Ignition Time by clicking like, by clicking subscribe, and by enabling notifications. Remember, it just takes one person to click the like button for YouTube to know that they found this video valuable, and every single like, every single subscribe matters. Please support the channel by doing that. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.